Welcome back YouTube, it's Brandon from Tattooing 101. And today we're on our final video of the Back to Basics line work tutorials. So this is week 4, and if you followed through the process of week 1 to 3, you should have a good idea of what all the fundamentals to tattooing line work are. Now if you haven't checked out the previous videos to these tutorials, it's probably because you didn't have your notifications turned on. So make sure that you hit that subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you can keep up to date every time I post a new video each week, so that never happens again. So today in the final video for week 4, we're going to be going over curved shapes. One of the hardest things to get down when it comes to tattooing. And so far we've pretty much only been doing straight lines. So you build up all of your muscle memory to be able to tattoo straight lines, but now it's time to get onto curves. So we're gonna start out with some C shapes, S shapes, and then we're going to go on to tattooing full circles, which is by far the hardest thing to get down with tattooing. So first, we're going to get down the importance of learning C's and S's. As you can see here, I have my C's and S's on my practice skin. We're first going to start out with the C's. So my setup is an 8-round liner. I'm using my Bishop Packer, which is 4.2 stroke and 8 volts on my power supply. So if you were tattooing at home, I highly recommend that you wrap your machine like you would actually be tattooing on live clients. And also, anytime you are tattooing, stretch the skin so you're able to get used to the muscle memory of doing these things. The reason that I'm not stretching the skin in this video is because you won't be able to see for the cameras, and also the reason I'm not wrapping my machine because I want you to be able to see exactly how I am holding my machine. So if I was actually tattooing on a live client, everything would be wrapped. I'm just doing this for visual purposes, so make sure you are doing it at home. I'm preparing the fake skin by putting a little bit of green glide down, so I'm able to clean it up nice and neat when I'm done tattooing it. And also putting a little bit on the bottom of my glove so I could slide across the fake skin very seamlessly like this. So learning how to tattoo a C is really beneficial. You can also think of it as a half circle if you would like. When many beginners first start out, they struggle with being able to tattoo a perfect circle. Some of them might be able to do it once or twice, but then fail in a consistent manner. So whenever you're going into the C shape, you want to make sure you're tapering in when starting out and then tapering out at the end, just like you would in the last video we showed with straight lines and polygons. So you're keeping a consistent hand speed going through and just sliding your hand across the fake skin, as you could see here, to be able to go through this shape in a consistent manner without having to stop and start a ton of different times. Now, the benefit of being able to do a C is that it is a starting point of being able to do shapes. The other rule applies to S's, which we will get onto right now. It's the same basic process that we did with the C's. We're just going through with an S shape instead. So you can see here going around the first shape, it got too light. That is because going around the curves is a really important way to understand how to keep your depth consistent the whole way through. So if you're going around a curve like I did here and you lighten up at all, you can see that there was a little point to where it was too light. So what that means is you're not staying consistent the whole way through to where you're not going 2 millimeters into the fake skin and it's going to be too light. And then when you try to go over that area again, you're going to see a little point to where you didn't go through the whole way and match up everything perfectly. That's why it's so important to try to do everything with a single pass, so these things don't happen right like this. So on the next one, I'm going to show you how to do it perfectly so you know how to go through. But that's a mistake that you'll be able to see if you're first starting out, and also little bit ways on how to resolve it as you go forward. So now that I'm going through with this line, you can see I'm keeping my depth consistent the whole way through, and you could just see the difference between these two. So with this one, this is the exact way you want to practice, and if it's looking like the first one, you know the exact things you need to do in order to resolve it and fix the issue going forward. And with learning how to tattoo S's, you could connect two together to make ropes and other things. So these are really important shapes to learn and get down when it comes to tattooing, because you'll be doing designs that have curved objects all the time. It's not very usual that you'll be tattooing straight lines to every tattoo. That's why tattooing curved lines are going to be so important with you becoming a tattoo artist and actually tattooing on human skin. So now going through with perfect circles. This is one of the hardest things to get down, and there's a couple different ways you could go about it. Breaking the circle up into individual places, so if you're going through with a circle and doing it in 2 passes instead of just 1, or doing it in 1 pass. The only thing you need to think about is if you're doing it in 2 passes, you have to be perfect matching up your needles, or you'll be able to see the exact stopping and starting points and it won't look clean. So these are things you really have to think about, and try to do any circle in a single pass so you don't have those stopping points. But there are areas to where if the circle's a big circle, you're not going to have the ability because of the reservoir of ink in your cartridge. When that runs out, you have no more ink to put into the skin, so you're going to have to stop your line. So now we'll go through with tattooing a circle. So I'm going to set up my green glide on here so I can just slide across the skin, getting my 3 points of contact, and I'll just go through with my circle. Okay, so what I did right there, I'm tapering in when I got to the points where I felt like my ink was running out in my cartridge, and then I just tapered out, going with my stencil. You don't want to go off the stencil at all, or to leave a little mark. So now what we could do is go back in, taper in, and go down the circle with the other side. Now from here, we could taper back in. And finish off our circle. So that's how you could break down a circle. If you don't have the ability to do it in one single pass, it'll still come out looking clean as long as you're following your stencil and everything is consistent. So that's how you break down a smaller circle. If you don't have the ability to do it in one single pass, you could always break it down, but it's going to be harder. You're going to be seeing little tiny areas. If you look really, really closely, you'll never be able to get that match perfect. So when you're doing a single pass circle, you want to make sure that you have enough residual ink in your reservoir of your cartridge, and then just follow your stencil, sliding your hand across the fake skin. right like that. And that is how you do a circle in a single pass. So there you have it, everyone. That is the end of the final video for the line work tutorial series. I really hope these videos were able to help you out along your way of becoming a professional tattoo artist. If you'd like these tutorials and would like to learn more in a structured way, I highly recommend checking out our Artist Accelerator program. Inside, we have over 500 videos that'll teach you everything you need to know from A to Z. You'll learn about proper hygiene practices, how to set up your tattoo station, drawing tattoo designs, line work, shading, packing, how to get into a tattoo shop, and much more. We even have a Facebook mastermind group so you could post your progress and get feedback from me personally, as well as connect with other tattoo artists that have gone through the program and went on to getting into the shop of their dreams or opening up their own studio. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you would like to support me so I could keep making videos like this for you guys, just hit the little subscribe button for me. It'll help me out a ton. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.